Hail, good viewers and listeners in. During my travels in Destiny 2, I've noticed a lot of people doing stuff wrong, particularly in the PvP Crucible arena. And with the recent PC release of the game, it's high time for me to get off my bony old ass and make a guide. Many of these tips can also be applied to the PvE portion of the game, although if you're having trouble with that, there's probably not much I can do to help, because you must not have hands, or arm stumps, or feet, or... The game's easy is the point I'm trying to make. It's way too fucking easy! Anyway, let's just get on with it! Oh right! Post-haste! Before we get to my top 10 tips, there's a few things that are probably common knowledge for Destiny 2 PvP at this point, but let's just go over them real quick fast anyway, just in case anyone doesn't know. First off, energy weapons do more damage to opponents who have an active super than kinetic weapons. Don't even bother shooting them with your kinetic, as you'll kill them much faster by switching over to your energy, even with the time it takes to swap weapons. Second, always try to travel with at least one other member of your team. Since everyone is a bit spongy in this game, it's tough to win fights when you're outnumbered, even if you're good at landing headshots. Lastly, always try to work your way tactically around the perimeter of the map. This seems like a no-brainer for any PvP shooter, but I've been seeing more people in this game run straight down the middle of the map only to get gunned down from all sides than any other game I've ever played. Now, playing tactically like this may not always be an option if you're playing with randoms who just run straight for the middle of the map every time. In that case, just follow behind them and try to pick off the other team while they shoot at your idiot teammates. Alright, with that out of the way, let's get to the real shit. Number 1, pick the right tool for the job. More specifically, use weapons suited to the range you're engaging the enemy at. Too often have I seen people exclusively using auto rifles, no matter the range, but in Destiny 2, there are bigger damage drop-offs beyond a weapon's effective range than in most other shooters. Because of this, you should always have one longer range weapon, like a scout or pulse rifle, and one close range weapon like a submachine gun or sidearm. As for which weapon type and which slot, I prefer to have my close range weapon in the energy slot for when someone pops a super nearby. Provided it's not Fist of Havoc, you may have just enough time to kill them. A case can be made, however, for having a long-range energy weapon, since it's safer to engage a super from a distance. However, I find it's usually just better to run given the opportunity. Regardless of what you choose to put where, just make sure you have the appropriate weapon equipped for the range you're engaging at, so you don't have to waste time switching weapons when you run into an enemy. I find it particularly odd that auto rifles are so popular in PvP, as they really only excel at medium range, something that scout and pulse rifles do nearly as well, in addition to being much better at long ranges. The only time I use an auto rifle is when I'm on a map with limited long-range engagements, like this one. I don't know what it's called, Space Station or some shit. Otherwise, I'll always roll with a scout or pulse rifle for longer range engagements. In fact, if you have the Vigilance Wing pulse rifle, there's really no map where you'd need an auto rifle, as it's just as good at mid-range firefights. So if auto rifles are the most overrated class, what's the most underrated? Well, that brings us to number 2! Sidearms are awesome! Specifically the semi-auto and 3-round burst ones. Sidearms have approximately the same effective range as auto rifles, but are far more lethal up close due to their superior impact. They do have a bigger damage drop-off at longer distances, but you can still win a mid-range firefight if you have decent accuracy, and this weakness is more than made up for by their stopping power at close range. If you really can't live with anything less than full auto, stick with a submachine gun, as the full auto sidearms recoil something fierce which negates their extra range. Since nearly everyone uses auto rifles even for close quarter fights, it's rare you'll ever lose a one-on-one firefight at close range with a sidearm. Look at these kills! Even though the opponent got the drop on me and started firing first, I was still able to outdamage them and get the kill due to the sidearm's insane close quarter stopping power. Number 3! Take an appropriate super for the Crucible. Some supers that are great in single player suck donkey dick in the Crucible. In a PvP situation, a super's ability to clear a whole team is more important than, say, its ability to put on a spectacular laser light show, although one that can do both is preferable. Oh, I love the discoteca! Where are the bitches at? Whatever you pick, make sure you take something that has multiple uses so you don't have to rely on the enemy team all standing together to be able to take out multiple opponents with a single super. The Titan's Fist of Havoc is my personal favorite since it deploys instantly and can be used to get out of sticky situations, but I also like the Warlock's Daybreak for a ranged option. It's important to remember that nearly all supers have a short startup animation where you'll be vulnerable, so don't activate them while you're getting shot or you risk dying before even getting an attack off. Instead, when you come across multiple enemies, retreat to cover, pop your super safely out of sight, and then leap out and give them the shock of their lives! Surprise, motherfuckers! And try not to waste your super on a single enemy unless the round is about to end. In that case, it's better to get one than nothing. Number 4! Don't forget about your class abilities. When your team is grouped together, throw down a healing rift or shield to make everyone tougher to take down. The Warlock's rifts are by far the most useful ability in Crucible, enabling you to hold your own even when outnumbered, making the Warlock class an excellent choice for PvP, especially with the Arc subclass, which gets a friendly little offensive node that fires on your target and helps even the odds when you're getting ganged up on. Basically, what I'm trying to say is... Number 5! Armor is for more than just fashion. Wear armor with mods and perks applicable to your loadout. While the level advantages of armor are disabled in the Crucible, the mods are kept active. The armors that have higher resilience or recovery mods are the most beneficial. Agility is less important in PvP. Legendary armor has the benefit of being able to reassign mods between 2 attributes, so when you've selected a specific armor, play around with the options to squeeze out as much recovery and resilience from your setup as possible. Exotics also have this feature, but gain an additional perk on top, like boosting abilities on specific subclasses or gaining an extra grenade. Oh, and of course, make sure you look like a badass. Just look at this beefcake! While we're on the subject of looks, don't forget that you can customize your ship as well! Just wait till these guys see how awesome my ship is! They're gonna be so jealous! Oh, what the fuck? Number 6! When you encounter more than one enemy at a time or run into someone at an unsuitable range for your weapon, don't be ashamed to run away like a little bitch! You're better off regrouping than picking a fight that you're unlikely to win. If you're a Warlock or Titan, use your ability to help your chances, and if you're a Hunter, yeah, that role isn't a great trade-off. Hunters really got f***ed in this game. Number 7! Use pulse grenades to control enemy movement. While good as a regular offensive option, pulse grenades are especially useful defensively to stop enemies from rushing you and buy you some time to heal. As an added bonus, the Titan gets 2 of them with their Arc subclass. Double your pleasure! Number 8! Use crouch to hide on radar. When crouched, you will only intermittently ping the enemy's radar as opposed to showing up full time when you're vertical. So as soon as you see a red wedge on your radar, meaning the enemy is close by, crouch to throw them off your trail. This is especially important when you're outnumbered, so they won't easily be able to surround you. It's a good idea to approach slowly anyway when you don't know what you're walking into, so the added radar effect is just the icing on the cake. Hey! No, I don't! Number 9! Vertical recoil is your friend, especially at close range when using a burst weapon. Aim at the chest and the second and third shots will hit the head, giving you free critical hits without even aiming. In fact, if you were aiming for the head on your first shot, your subsequent shots would miss, especially at longer ranges. This is usually applicable to other shooters as well, not just Destiny, so keep that in mind the next time you own some noobs. And then finally, number 10! The best guns for PvP. Granted, I don't have every gun in the game. The best ones I've found so far are Vigilance Wing for pulse rifles, Nameless Midnight and Mida Multi-Tool for the scouts, and Origin Story or Scathlock for autos. As for my favorite class, the sidearm, go with either Last Hope or Dead Man Walking. The Mida Mini-Tool is my favorite sub, especially when paired with its multi-tool brother, followed closely by Risk Runner. As for power weapons, I say go with the one that suits the range you feel most comfortable at. Being an up-close and personal kind of guy, I always stick to swords. I've rarely ever picked up sword ammo and not gotten at least a couple of kills. It also seems to be the power weapon I get killed by the most, so I'm probably not alone there. Another added bonus the swords have over the other weapons is the third-person's perspective, which helps you see around corners. Did you know you can switch to your sword even when you don't have power ammo? Hashtag pro tip! So there you have it. By following these simple tips, I guarantee you'll get at least a 17 efficiency ratio every single round. Till next time, fare thee well. Oh shit, I almost forgot the most important tip. Always, no matter the situation, no matter how dangerous it may be, after every single kill, teabag.